Japan had the first female to take the chrysanthemum throne. Buddhism took root in the country. A bloody coup was carried out before the eyes of a reigning empress. And the greatest succession war in ancient Japan erupted. These are some of the events that took place in Asuka period, the ancient era that defined the course of Japan. Konnichiwa. Hello and welcome to another edition of Talk About Japan. I'm Mitsuaki, your guide to Japan. Japan's long and rich history is divided into different periods and eras. Today, we'll focus on Asuka period. Asuka was an age when Japan transformed itself from a patchwork of powerful clans into a centralized state under an emperor. It was also a time of upheaval marked by coup d'etat and great wars. In this video, we'll be looking at some of the key events that took place in this important era. では、始めましょう! Asuka period refers to the years from 592 to 710. The period name derives from the Asuka area in modern-day Nara Prefecture, where the emperor's palaces were located at that time. The Asuka period started with the reign of the Empress Jito, who first chose Asuka as the site for the imperial palaces. Empress Jito was the first of 8 reigning female empresses in Japanese history. She appointed Prince Shōtoku, her nephew, as regent to lead the government. Prince Shōtoku is among the most celebrated historical figures in Japan. The former 10,000 yen bills, Japan's most expensive banknotes, carried the portrait of Prince Shōtoku. Empress Jito and Prince Shōtoku are known to have promoted Buddhism, which was introduced to Japan from Baekgang, Korea in the 6th century. To Asuka, Japan, Buddhism was not just a religion. It was the symbol of the advanced civilization of the Asian mainland. There are many legends about Prince Shōtoku's superhuman abilities, and he even became the object of worship in Japanese Buddhism. For example, he read through hundreds of sutra books at the age of 7. He understood the voices of 10 people speaking at once, and such as such. All these legends aside, he is credited with a number of political reforms in order to make Japan a powerful, centralized nation under the emperor, in contrast to previous governments, which was sort of a patchwork of powerful clans. He introduced the 12-level cap and rank system, in which official's rank is indicated by the color and material of the cap. The cap and rank system allowed for promotion based on merit and individual achievement, in contrast to the previous system based on the family background. He is also credited with promulgating the 17th Article Constitution, Japan's earliest formal law code. It is not a constitution in modern sense of a word, but precepts for the government officials stressing the morals and the virtues from the Buddhist and Confucian perspective. The first article starts like this. Harmony should be valued and quarrels should be avoided, and ends with, if people above and below can talk peacefully and amicably, things will be reasonable and nothing will be impossible to accomplish. Don't you think the idea still holds true after 1,400 years? On the diplomatic front, Prince Shōtoku sent missions known as Kenzuishi to Sui China to establish relations and to absorb the continent's advanced technology and culture. The envoys of the Kenzuishi mission, who studied in China, would make a significant contribution to the later development of Japan in administration, technology, and culture. Prince Shōtoku appears to have aimed for equal diplomacy with the Sui dynasty, which was highly irregular in the 7th century East Asian order. He addressed a letter to the Sui Emperor Yang in 607 stating, "The Son of Heaven of the land of the rising sun sends this letter to the Son of Heaven of the land of the setting sun, and wishes him well. This infuriated the Sui emperor, who denounced the letter as barbaric because the letter implied the equal status of the two countries. To Emperor Yang, the 7th century Japan was nothing but a small and backward country. However, Sui emperor eventually accepted the letter because his country couldn't afford to antagonize Japan while they were at war with Goguryeo, Korea. After the death of Prince Shōtoku in 622 and Empress Jito in 628, it was the Soga clan that seized power, headed by Sogano Emishi and his son Iruka. There was growing resentment among nobility towards the Soga's usurpation of power. Among them were Prince Nakano Oe and his ally Nakatomi no Kamatari, who would later found the prestigious Fujiwara clan. Legend has it that the two men became friends while playing Kemari, a soccer-like game. They devised a coup plan to overthrow the Soga. The coup d'etat was carried out in the imperial palace before the eyes of the reigning empress. The prince beheaded Sogano Iruka. Iruka's head took off to the sky with a loud roar. The following day, they forced Iruka's father Emishi to commit suicide. The bloody coup is known as the Ishi incident. Now in power, Prince Nakano Oe and Nakatomi no Kamatari launched a series of new policies, collectively known as Taika Reform. Taika Reform was modeled after the Tang dynasty's political system and was intended to consolidate power to the emperor and to make Japan a stronger, centralized state. The most drastic policy adopted in Taika Reform is known as Kochi Komin system, in which the privately owned land and people were confiscated, then vested in the state. This weakened the hitherto powerful clans and strengthened the emperor's authority. The Asuka period was also a time of great wars, foreign and civil. The foreign war was the Battle of Hakusukinoe in 663. The battle was fought between Baekgang restoration forces and their ally Japan against the allied forces of Silla and Tang China. Baekgang was one of the kingdoms on Korean peninsula and a long-time ally of Japan. Baekgang was attacked and destroyed by the Tang and Silla forces in 660. Prince Nakano Oe decided to dispatch an expeditionary force to help the besieged Baekgang restoration forces. The outcome was disaster for Japan. Japan suffered a crushing defeat. The Tang navy was too powerful, while the Japanese forces were inexperienced, poorly equipped, and had no unified command. Baekgang fell. Japan may be the next. Prince Nakano Oe was desperate to prepare for the Tang and Silla invasion. The prince built a number of forts in northern Kyushu and along the coast of the Seto Inland Sea, conscripted soldiers to defend northern Kyushu, and relocated the capital to Otsukyo in modern-day Shiga Prefecture, a more defensible location, where the prince took throne to become the Emperor Tenji in 668. In the end, however, Tang and Silla didn't attack Japan. Why? Because Tang and Silla were now at odds with each other and couldn't afford to invade Japan. Japan was spared. Emperor Tenji closed his turbulent life in Otsukyo in 671, but his death triggered next war. This time, a succession struggle between Tenji's son and brother, Jinshin War, as it is known, was the greatest civil war in ancient Japan and split the country into two. In 672, Prince Oama, younger brother of Emperor Tenji, secluded in the mountains of Yoshino, raised an army to claim the throne against Prince Otomo, Tenji's son, in Otsukyo. Oama acted swiftly. He moved from Yoshino to Mino in modern-day Gifu Prefecture, where he successfully rallied the support of the powerful clans in the eastern provinces. Prince Otomo in Otsukyo, on the other hand, tried to conscript soldiers from the western provinces, but he failed to gather support because people were dissatisfied with the draconian politics of his late father, Emperor Tenji. Oama's forces defeated Otomo's army one after another. The month-long battle came to a decisive end at the Seta River on Lake Biwa, the only remaining line of defense for Otomo. Otomo's army made one last desperate attempt to counterattack, but the defense line was broken through. The capital of Otsukyo fell. Prince Otomo strangled himself to death, ending a month-long Jinshin War. The victorious Prince Oama burnt down the Otsukyo, returned to Asuka, and took throne to become the Emperor Tenmu. He achieved a government in which the emperor himself governed, free from the interference of the powerful clans. The use of Tenno, literally Heavenly Emperor, as a title for the ruler of Japan is thought to date from the reign of Emperor Tenmu. Emperor Tenmu's reign lasted until his death in 686. He was succeeded by his wife, Empress Jito, who became the fourth woman to take the chrysanthemum throne. Some of the achievements of Jito are the construction of new capital, Fujiwara-kyo, some 4 kilometers north of Asuka in 694. Fujiwara-kyo was Japan's first capital city, built in a grid pattern on the Chinese model. Compilation of Taiho Code, Japan's first fully-fledged legal code, enacted in 701. Taiho Code was the combination of penal code known as Ritsu and administrative code, Ryo, collectively known as Ritsuryo. Much of the political structure created in Ritsuryo lasted for more than 1,000 years. And the name of the country, Nippon, is thought to have been adopted at or around this time, the name still in use today, 1,300 years after the Asuka period. And 7 years after Jito's death, the Empress Genmei, a younger sister of Jito, decided to abandon Fujiwara-kyo and relocate to Heijō-kyo in modern-day Nara City in 710. This marked the end of Asuka period. Japan now enters the Nara period. These are some of the events that took place in Asuka period, the age that defined the course of Japan. Thank you for watching. ありがとうございました。さようなら。